This is Patsy Vinogradov, and I direct ATLAS here at Hamline University. ATLAS provides professional development to adult educators throughout Minnesota. I wanted to share a few words about standards and standard-based education, as this topic is getting a lot of attention in the field today, and a lot of questions have come up in Minnesota about content standards, and in particular the college and career readiness standards that came out in 2013. So 3 main questions I hope to answer with this webcast are: what is standards-based education? What are Minnesota's content standards? And then why are they important? Academic content standards serve as the foundation for state and district K-12 education systems, and they are now part of adult basic education as well. Standards communicate to both teachers and students the skills that learners are expected to master at various levels of ability. So content standards are broadly defined as what students should know and be able to do. And content standards describe the knowledge and skills that adult students will have upon successful completion of an instructional program. Content standards are the foundation, then, for designing curricula, instruction, and assessment. However, it should be made clear that content standards do not dictate the types of lesson plans, activities, or teaching methods to be used in the classroom. In Minnesota ABE, content standards represent what we know our learners need to be able to do in order to succeed in post-secondary settings, career training, or deeper community involvement. So there are 3 key documents that define Minnesota ABE content standards: the College and Career Readiness Standards for Adult Education, or CCRS, the ACES Transitions Integration Framework, or the TIF, and the North Star Digital Literacy Standards. And you may be wondering, why 3 documents? Why 3 sets of standards for Minnesota ABE? Well, we know our students need to be strong readers and writers and have strong numeracy skills to achieve their personal transitions goals, and these standards are defined in the CCRS. But we also know that they need to have those hard-to-define skills such as teamwork and time management and critical thinking and decision-making. And these make-or-break skills are defined in the TIF, the Transitions Integration Framework. And then undergirding all of this content is the reality of living and working in the 21st century, where digital literacy is essential to the workplace, to college and career training, and to engaging as a citizen in our society. Digital literacy skills are detailed in the North Star Digital Literacy Standards. So 2 questions that the state office and I get a lot are: what's the law? Do I have to teach the CCR standards? So in answer to that, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or WIOA, of 2014 requires that state ABE content standards align to state K-12 academic standards. In Minnesota, the College and Career Readiness Standards have been adopted by our state ABE office as they align with our K-12 academic standards and are specifically written with adult learners in mind. However, it should be noted that the law does not require a single state or federal curriculum, nor does it dictate how local programs move to implement the standards. The U.S. Department of Education is revising the NRS level descriptors to align to the CCRS, and that work is in progress. And test publishers are currently working to align their tests, such as CASAS and TABE, to the CCRS in both language arts and math. Minnesota state statute states that ABE programs need to comply with federal ABE accountability requirements. And so these are the laws governing content standards. And the answer to this question is yes. All of us in ABE in Minnesota need to be moving toward implementing the college and career readiness standards for adult education. Many educators have been in the field a long time, and we have seen educational trends come and go. And it's tempting to think that these content standards are just a phase that we can easily ignore. But content standards and standards-based education is not a passing fashion. And this is really the way of doing business in K-12 education, and it has been for over 20 years. And many state ABE systems already have content standards in place. While content standards are new to Minnesota ABE, we are somewhat unique in that respect. Having agreed upon standards is quickly becoming simply the way adult education does business. A couple of things to keep in mind. Minnesota ABE is moving towards the implementation of a standards-based system in which standards, curriculum and instruction, and assessment are all aligned. And even if the standards do evolve or change over time, a move toward a common set of college and career readiness standards for the state brings a variety of benefits. Those benefits include the 3 main purposes for content standards. First of all, they provide teachers and administrators with a shared vision for adult education. This includes a common language for discussing outcomes and guidelines for structuring curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Content standards assure that high mobility students and students who stop out have access to a logical, predictable set of skills all teachers and programs are working toward. Secondly, they serve as guideposts for students to follow as they make progress, giving them more responsibility for their own learning and helping them to design their own goals. So first, teachers and administrators, secondly, for students, and finally, content standards describe to stakeholders outside of adult education, and that might be post-secondary institutions or vocational programs or perhaps employers. They explain what adult education students know and are able to do. All of this work helps us to clarify the identity and the role of adult education in Minnesota, helping us serve learners more effectively as they transition into whatever's next in their lives. So if you're wondering where you can learn more, Atlas has set up a content standards page on its website listed here. So you can just go to atlasabe.org and click under professional and then click content standards. And we're in the process of creating a content standards resource library as well. We are fortunate to have advisory groups all around all of the Minnesota content standards, including the TIF, or Transitions Integration Framework, North Star, and pictured here is most of the CCRS implementation team for Minnesota. This team has representatives for both English language arts and math, and it includes adult educators from a variety of contexts, such as large leveled programs, one-room schoolhouse or drop-in programs in rural areas, county corrections, as well as professional developers and state staff. So some ways to keep on top of current content standards training and information are to, of course, read the weekly Minnesota Connect newsletter arriving in your inbox from Sherry at the state office, and then also to visit the Atlas calendar for event and activity descriptions and registration information. I hope this brief webcast has given you some answers to your questions about standards-based education and Minnesota content standards, and I hope we'll engage in the professional development around CCRS, TIF, and North Star at PD events and activities in the coming months. Thank you.